This is a story I've been meaning to do a video on for quite some time, but it had to kind of play out to where I am at in it now for it to truly for it to truly make sense. Because this is something that has overarched a lot of my work with Lilith, Hecate, Astarte, all the demonic gatekeepers, and I've brought it up a couple times in various videos that I've done. Is this the story of Amamiel and um, who she was, who she is, and how that relates to me and the work that I do. So, the story begins in my early workings with Lilith. She reminded me of a dream I had in 2015, which was at this point in time about 5 years ago. And in this dream, it was revealed to me that in the dream, I had traveled to the underworld, to this demonic realm. And I had not been working with demons at all at this point in time. I was actually at a long pause in my spiritual journey, where I was just in varying stages of getting back into various occult practices, but I wasn't doing any kind of daily practicing like I am now. And in this dream, it was revealed to me that I was a ruling class demon. I was like, wow, that was really a weird dream I had. Didn't really think much of it until I started working with Lilith and she reminded me of this dream. Because the first time I worked with Lilith and entered her realm, she was like, yeah, you've been here before. I was like, oh, really? I don't remember. So as I've been progressing, working with Lilith and the gatekeepers and the other dark goddesses, various things have come out about this storyline in my life. So, and just to kind of give a brief little kind of pause and background information, one of the things I've believed in since I was a very small child was reincarnation. Since I was maybe like 6 or 7 years old, I don't know that anyone ever explained to me what it was. It was just something that made sense to me because I knew I had lived before. I don't know how, I just did. I don't know if I saw something on TV or whatever. It was just something in my child brain that made sense to me. And I think I go over this a little bit in my occult origin story videos as well. So as I was working with Lilith, a little bit down the road, I was kind of starting to inquire, who was, you mentioned, you brought up this dream and stuff like that. And at one point in time working with her, we traveled to the underworld. And, I asked her who I was. She wouldn't reveal it to me. But when we traveled there on her astral elevator, as it were, to find out, I'm not sure who we spoke to. I just remember being like a small, kind of tiny-ish, elder kind of person. And they told me my name was Amamiel. And that's spelled A-M''MA space M-I-E-L. And they just said that I decided to go topside to experience the real world again. And after this part, I had a name. I Googled every variation of this just to see if anything came up. Was this like a a character in a show? Was I just, the name of a god or goddess or anything? There's just no, I could not, under any form of like combining how to spell this name, come up with anything. So at least I know I wasn't like, oh, that was a character on Supernatural, because it could have been. So in my first workings with Belial, Lilith brought me to working with Belial. And I'd also previously worked with Lucifer a little bit at this point in time. But Belial also acknowledged me as Amamiel. And I asked for more information about who I was and why I left that realm. Belial seemed pleased by my presence and said that I was loved and wanted to experience living in the living realm again, since it had been a very long time since I walked the earth, and wanted to see what changed since the last time I was here. I've always suspected that I wasn't entirely of this world. So this is where I start, realizing that I'm connecting with these demons, gatekeepers, whatever you want, dark spirits, etc. And they're recognizing that in me. And I'm always a skeptical kind of person, call myself on my own bullshit. Is this real? Is this an actual thing? Am I just, making myself up to be some grandiose whatever? I don't know. But, more and more gets revealed along the way. And the story really starts to become interesting with, the work that I'm doing presently in this incarnation. So the ritual with all the gatekeepers minus Satan that I've mentioned in previous videos, um, again, they all acknowledged me as Amamiel. And yeah, we performed this ritual in which, I was at the center surrounded by them. And, I had to drink their blood, they drank my blood. And um, so that was some sort of initiation kind of test that I had to pass. And I was accepted into the path, and they said things will be revealed to me slowly about the nature of Amamiel and what she experienced and what she knows, because as a human, I could not handle the sudden Gnosis all at once. So, in working with Lilith, and I was actually noted I was using, this is the first time I used the Lilith flying ointment that I make, is that I learned more about Amamiel in this particular working. She had no children of her own, but was referred to as the surrogate mother of fallen angels in the underworld. And which was interesting because I think I was talking to Orly Stewart about this, and she said the name of Amamiel, something about it kind of in Hebrew translates loosely to like mother of gods or something like that. I'd have to go back and look at the video to like get the exact wording, but I found that to be an interesting parallel. And I had actually done back, I think in the end of May, I did a consultation with E.A. Coetting, and I was talking about Amamiel and stuff, and he had said that the name itself sounds Nabatean, which is sort of, which I wasn't really familiar with. I still actually have to look a little bit into that, but something in that ancient Mesopotamian, Sumerian kind of realm. So that was something, again, another layer that was added into the storyline. And, it all starts to come together over time. So when I started working with Azazel, he revealed to me a little bit more about Amamiel. She bore no children in life. They had all died during birth in her physical lifetime, roughly pre or early Sumerian Mesopotamian era. She was also a healer and shaman amongst her people. He said that it was a very long time since she was earthbound. I asked why she came back through me. He said something about the awakening that is or is about to happen. After her death, she was considered an ascended master, but chose to reside in the underworld. Azazel said time is not linear, or was not linear, in the past, and timelines overlapped. We spoke of the fall of Lucifer and the rebel angels. Amamiel served as a surrogate mother figure to the fallen angels in the underworld and presumably demons as well. He noted that she helped mend his wings. She became the mother of fallen angels. And this part kind of breaks my heart a little bit. She wanted to have children through my incarnation, but sadly that could not happen. Just to reveal a little bit of personal information, I had to have a hysterectomy when I was 39 because I had uterine fibroids, and it was not fun. And the one that I had was about the size of an avocado sitting on my bladder that was twisting my uterus and messing everything all up down there. So that had to go. So anyways, I'm okay with it, but it is what it is. That was 5 years ago, which was actually around the time that I had the original dream, because that was after I had my hysterectomy surgery. So, again, interesting parallels in life. In another working with Belial, he revealed a little bit more about Amamiel to me as well. She was also the daughter of shamans in the pre-Sumerian times. It looks like Absterut is her mother. That name came to me 25 years ago in one of my first visions. I saw 3 women dressed in black in the desert chanting around a fire. It's interesting how a lot of these things that are being revealed to me now tie back into things from my past when I first really started getting into the occult, like 25, 30 years ago. So that's really been interesting. And another time I had asked Lilith how to summon Amamiel to be present within my body to experience the world. And Amamiel wants to hold a baby or child again. Damn freaking quarantine. Haven't been able to do that in a long time and see my niece and nephew since like Christmas. So I don't know when I'm going to get to hold a baby or child again. Another working with all of the demonic gatekeepers, including Satan this time, they showed me Amamiel's astral form. It was so bright, like it was this the like a white bright light that's so bright it's almost like blue and very radiant. I'm not sure at this point how at this point I wasn't sure how she looked in like her physical incarnation, but they activated something within me for the awakening, enlightenment, and ascension. And this is where Belial and Azazel start doing some what I call psychic surgery on me. And talk to a couple other people about it. Apparently, they do like some sort of like genetic code base reconstruction and things like that. I may have gone over that a little bit in the Belial video. So along that note, one of the interesting things that Belial and Azazel have done is they have prepared me to be able to split my consciousness so that I can kind of be in the physical realm and astral realm at the same time, which is nice because sometimes I have to pee a lot. So I can just like, my body will get up, go to the bathroom, and I'll still be doing my thing, or I'll grab a snack or something to drink or whatever. But I don't have to go into the whole process of getting back to where I was when I get into bed, like, so I can do that now. And then another working with all the gatekeepers, I think I've mentioned this in previous videos too, is that they're fast tracking my pathworking because I have an important role to play in everything, and it has to do with this Amamiel aspect. So more recently, the gatekeepers revealed that Amamiel has been fully activated within me. As she was the mother or the surrogate mother of fallen angels, I will be the mother or surrogate mother to those who are newly awakened to their spiritual consciousness. Some are not yet ready for the awakening and choose to remain asleep. I feel their collective power radiating through time. That's one of the things that I feel like in this revelation in the storyline of Amamiel that's given me purpose today is that I'm here to help people as an intermediary or a guide to help them through the spiritual awakening, enlightenment, ascension process. Because it can be quite, I had a previous, 10 years of shadow work and like psychological and psychiatric treatments and therapy under my belt when I started this. So I kind of started at a different time. I'm also older because I'm like 45. I know I may not look it, but I hear that a lot. People are like, damn, girl. I'm like, thank you. But I digress. Along those lines, one of the things the gatekeepers said to me is, you have to be prepared to lose everything in order to move forward. True that. And boy, does that fucking hurt. And as I just previously mentioned, they said that I've basically been pathworking since 2011 in my own pursuit of becoming a better person, addressing my emotional and psychological issues, and making changes in my life to become a better version of myself. And some more words of wisdom from our demonic gatekeeper friends. The only person you cannot live without is yourself. So in a working that I had with Satan, he said that I passed a major test, and this was surrounding letting go of things that no longer serve me, and loving myself more and not depleting myself for the sake of others. And in this particular working, one of the things I think it's interesting, I just want to note, because this kind of came up more like in the past week or something, is that the way that like the gatekeepers and dark goddesses and any kind of spirits we work with in the realm, the way they kind of present themselves to us and talk to us is kind of based on who we are and like how our personalities are structured. So sometimes I think the gatekeepers have keyed into my love of absurdity, surrealism, and my dark sense of humor. So sometimes they're just really all of those three things. So at this point in time, I was in Satan's throne room, and he shouts, "Yo, gatekeepers, get your gatekeeping butts down here." So they all appeared and formed a circle around Satan. They became mirrors, and the walls became mirrors, and I was in between, and they said, "You are us, we are you, and reflections of reflections." I also joked about leveling up and if I got any new, gear or superpowers, wishes granted, etc. So, we have a good sense of rapport, I guess I would say. In my more recent workings with Lilith, Astarte, and Hecate, is that they said that I've become fully one with Amamiel, surrogate mother of fallen angels, and now can manifest as mother of the newly awakened. They said that I can do astral work with demons and dark spirits on behalf of others who are having trouble communicating or with astral travel themselves. So I started building my own astral temple. And so basically I constructed within the astral realm my own little astral realm, because I would go to visit everyone else's, sort of little areas and things like that. And so basically I have, sort of at the level is this, my dark garden sanctuary. There's a waterfall, lake. Behind the waterfall is a cave with two entrances. One goes to the underworld, one goes to the infernal empire. And atop of the mountain that the waterfall is on is the spire that goes up into the universe. And so, like the stars and stuff like that. So in a recent working with Belial, Azazel, and Lucifuge, Rofacal, one of the things they explained, and this was something I was curious about, was that they are transdimensional entities capable of being in multiple places at the same time. So, because I've always wondered, I'm like, well, if I'm working with Belial and you're working with Belial and this person over here is working with Belial, which Belial, are we working with? So it's kind of like, there's like the source Belial, and then there's sort of like the projections of Belial. So we're all working with different aspects of Belial when we're working with Belial. He's just going to present himself or themselves to us in a way that makes sense within our visual and experiential framework. And that was funny, sorry. When they were explaining this, Lucifuge chimed in, "Yeah, Asmodeus is at 30 different orgies right now. Lucky bastard." Again, they understand my sense of humor and stuff like that, so I always find that really interesting. So, now that we're in my astral temple, in the Dark Garden, Astarte, Lilith, and Hecate showed up, all of the demonic gatekeepers, and they bore witness to my fully becoming Amamiel, the living goddess. Again, I had to pass. There was a test of something that it's personal, not going to get into the details of it, but there was something I had to admit to myself that I didn't want to admit to myself and couldn't admit to myself, but finally admitted to myself. And that was sort of like the final test in the sort of transformation process. And apparently I made an astral pact with Lucifuge, and we both signed it. And it was interesting because I felt my fingers like tracing our initials. Like it was very formal. It was like, line 1, okay, you initial here, you initial there. Line item 2, you initial here, and then at the bottom. But I'll probably go over that more once I do a full video on Lucifuge, because I've only kind of been working with him more recently. One of the cool things that they showed me within my astral temple is that lately I've been able to form rifts in the astral realm. So it's sort of like a little jagged light that you kind of like pull apart. And then you could go through that to different places. So I've been using that, like, also I'm like, hey, I'm going to go visit Lucifer now. Straight through there. Some of them have, like, Belial has sort of like some portals. Azazel has this obsidian obelisk in his sort of pastoral garden, which I'll get to in the Azazel video. And there's a like wormhole mechanism in it. I gotta say, it's a little. I used it to get to Abaddon at the Abyss, and I kind of was like, flying through here and landed like ass up and, all over the place. It was not graceful. I've been able to, as recently of this week, for the first time, I bilocated in the astral realms. So I managed to be in 2 separate astral realms simultaneously interacting with different beings. So that's new. That's the story of Amamiel, mother of fallen angels. And now in my incarnation, acting as a surrogate mother to the newly awakened, which is, oddly fulfilling in a way because, despite the fact I don't have children and couldn't have children, I always kind of wanted children. So, I'm here for you. If you have questions, need someone to talk to, apparently that's what I'm here for. So, yeah. This has been a very interesting journey that I've been on since I started pathworking, and like they said, they have been fast tracking me, and it's been like, where are we at now? It's August, so this has been pretty much since like March, maybe, and yeah, that much has happened since March. Although granted, with quarantine, being home all the time, it's not like I have a whole lot else. Well, I mean, I am busy, but, I've really been able to explore and delve very, very deep into my spirituality and my practices and rituals and things like that. And for me, like, astral travel and soul travel just came very natural to me. I've always been a vivid dreamer, and I've had prophetic dreams all my life. I've been visited by the dead and dying in my dreams, which is very different than dreaming about them, because they're there communicating stuff to you about the present time, not like, oh, remember that time when blah, blah, blah happened and stuff like that. So, I feel like, maybe my thing is that I'm just able to work between the worlds, that for me, I'm one of those people that just can easily go beyond the veil where other people can't. I don't know. I think, yeah, we all have different talents and gifts and things like that. Some people are, amazing at doing tarot readings or runes or things like that. I can do little tarot readings for myself. Would I, bill myself as a tarot reader? Probably not. My understanding of things is very different. But when you find your thing, what you do, what your magical power is, as it were, and so in addition to being a, alchemist, in the products and things that I create, is apparently, some of that is also because I can kind of see between the worlds and beyond the veil and communicate with different spirits and things. Because even in creating some of the products that I've done for the different demons and dark goddesses that I've worked with, like, some of the things that I've used in them are things that they've communicated to me. Like, Azazel said he liked poppy flowers. And the one time I was making something for Azazel, and I was like, I feel like this is missing something. And I was just kind of like chanting around my gigantic collection of mason jars full of like every herb ever. I'm like, Ithrasha Azazel, Ishrasha Azazel. And we decided on adding some Solomon seal root. Would have thought of adding that, but you know, that's what that drew me to. So, you know, it's I've learned a lot about myself in this process, and I have overcome so many things in the past months, and I'm a very different person than I was in March. Very different. It's not just the new hair color either. So, anyways, like I said, I'm here for you. I love to talk, as you can tell, and I'm also a good listener. So, and as I have a separate video on, I offer consultations now on my website, and am doing astral divination and channeling as well. So that's on belladonnabotanicals.com/shop/services, I think. I'll also link it below. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters, and I will see you next time. Love y'all.